Hello learners, and welcome back to our lesson today. Again, to start a journey of revising past Kcse questions. So we start with paper 1, Kcse 2022. They just concluded exam. So we start with the first question, which read, solve for n whereby you're given the equation 6n divided by n minus 1 is equals to 25 divided by n. Now, this question has been lifted from the topic on linear equations, Form 1, and also has you need to use some concepts on quadratic equations. Yeah, so therefore, we start off. So where do we start? We start by cross multiplication. Yeah, cross multiplication. So therefore we have 6n multiplied by n is equals to 25 multiplied by n minus 1. So we have 6 times n is 6n squared is equals to 25n multiplied 25 by negative 1 gives us minus 25. Next step is you write the equation in form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Yeah, write the equation in that form for easier solving. So therefore we have 6n squared minus 25n plus 25 is equals to 0. Plus 25 is equals to 0. Next, now the next thing you need to remember is here you can use the grouping method to find the value of n, or you can use the quadratic formula. Either way, you'll arrive at the answer. So for this purpose, let us use the grouping method, whereby we need to get the product. Remember, you multiply a by c. The coefficient of n squared here is 6 multiplied by 25, which gives us 150. And our sum is the coefficient of x, that is the b, which is negative 25 in this case, minus 25. So we need to get two factors of 150 such that when we add them we get negative 25, and upon multiplying them we get 150. So the factors of 150 can be 1 and 150, but upon adding not get negative 25. Also we have 2 and 75, blah blah. So going down, you notice that the required factors here will be 15 and 10. But you remember that our sum is negative and our product is positive. So what does that tell us? That both our factors are also negative. So negative 15 times negative 10 gives us positive 150. And if you add negative 15 and negative 10, you get negative 25. So you're going to replace the bx, that is our negative 25, with negative 15 and negative 10. And that is how you do the grouping method. So therefore we have 6n squared minus, remember we are replacing 15n minus 10n plus 25 is equals to 0. Plus 25 is equals to 0. Next, yeah, in pairs, in groups of 2. So we have that one as our first pair, another pair here. So we have now in our first pair, or in each pair, you factor out the common. You factor out the common. So in this case, 6n squared and 15n squared, n is common, and also 3 is common. So we have 3n is common. So 6n squared divided by 3n will be left with 2n. Then negative 15n divided by 3n, here you'll be left with negative 5. And to our next pair, negative 10n and positive 25. So clearly, what is common between 10 and 25? We can be able to see that 5 is common. 5 is common, and also the negative. So negative 5 is common. So minus 10n divided by 5 gives us 2n. Then positive 25 divided by negative 5 gives us negative 5. Then is equals to 0. Next step, you factor out the common again. So 2n minus 5, 2n minus 5 is common. We factor it out, 2n minus 5. And you're left with 3n minus 5 is equals to 0. So what does that mean? This means that 2n minus 5 is equals to 0, or 3n minus 5 is equals to 0, or 3n minus 5 is equals to 0. Next, find the value of n. Having that, so this means that 2n minus 5 is equals to 0, so 2n is equals to 5, or 3n is equals to 5. Next, so giving us that n is equals to 5, 5 divided by 2, which is the same as 2.5, or n is equals to 5 divided by 3. That is, you divide by 3, divide by 3 on both sides. And this gives us that n is equals to 1 and 2 over 3, or 2 divided by 3. And those are the values of n. So learner, that is what was expected of you, and those are the values of n. That is how you're supposed to go through that kind of a question if you come across such kind of a question. So bye bye, see you in our next lesson.